I only got into fitness of any kind at the age of 32. So I'm kind of celebrating my 10 years of fitness this year, this November. And before that, extremely unhealthy, very unwell, very unfit, and just very unhappy, in a bad place mentally and physically, you know. I suppose like a lot of people in their 20s, you just start drinking and you go out with your mates and then you're eating shit food, and that's just the way it is. And you get away with it in your teens and your 20s. And then you kind of hit your early 30s and your body starts saying, no, mate, you got to start doing something about this, you know. You know, I started getting like asthmatic attacks and acid reflux and high blood pressure and all this kind of stuff. And just ended up going to the doctor, and he said, look, you're going to have to start looking after yourself. So it kind of went from there then, you know. I bought my first pair of trainers that day, and I started running. And as I said in previous podcasts, you might have heard, like, the first day I went running, I lasted 100 yards and to come home, because I thought my lungs were going to fall out. I thought I had asthma. I didn't have asthma. I was really, really unfit. You know what I mean? And started from absolutely nothing. I mean, when I say I started from zero, I started from absolutely zero. Nothing, no fitness whatsoever. And then to have the 10 years that I've had has just been pretty incredible, to be honest with you, look back on it, you know.
Can I just ask you, David, we've had guests on in the past who've had, I suppose you could call it an epiphany or an awakening after having some kind of consultation with a doctor or something, and they're told, you know, you've really got to change. But I speak to a lot of people, and I suppose you do, and I'd imagine Pete and Paul do as well, that have these warnings from like a doctor or something and said, look, you really got to change. And they kind of ignore those warnings or they don't do anything about it. But you said, you know, you went to the doctor, he said something to you or she said something to you, and you went and bought a pair of trainers and you made a decision, right, I'm going to do something. What was it that, you know, what was the spark for you? I mean, was it, what exactly did they say to you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of things. I mean, I was over in, my dad's big into football, and we went over to Manchester to watch a match, and there was guys coming down taking photographs. So we were in the pubs taking pics, and I just saw a picture of myself over there, and I was like, Jesus, you look terrible. You know what I mean? Big, fat, red face, you know, high blood pressure, big, fat belly bursting out the buttons of my shirt, you know. I looked at myself and was like, no, that's not right. You know what I mean? Not at the age you're at. And like, at that stage, I had two small kids. So like I'm 3 now, but at that stage I had 2. So it was kind of like, you're going to have to start copping on to yourself a little bit now, kid, because, you know, you're not a teenager anymore. You've got the warning from the doctor, and the doctor wants to put me on all this medication. The real thing for me was the doctor wanted to put me on to asthmatic inhalers, high blood pressure tablets, and a whole massive stuff for my stomach issues. And it was just from eating really bad and not doing any exercise. So I said, look, I'm 32. I don't want to be on all this medication for the rest of my life. I'm too early for that. So let's try and see if we get fit can help me. And that was the main spur for me. It was probably my kids, and the fact that all this medication was going to be suddenly a part of my life that wasn't before. I didn't like that idea. So I said, look, how about if I just get fit and see will that help? And if it doesn't, then I'll take the medication. Thankfully, I haven't need to take the medication yet anyway. So